Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're over here on the Japanese side of the game, taking on the Magnetic Forest, taking down Yuita's Kid with the new Verse Legend, Verse Shanks, and Verse Whitebeard. So in today's video, we are utilizing both Shanks and Whitebeard as our captain. This is the team, these are the supports, let's dive in. So on stage 11 is where the forest starts to get a little bit tricky, as on stage 11 this is where like all of the debuffs sort of come in. On stage 11 we come up against Apu, the Scratch Man. He's going to give us 1 turn of Paralysis and 1 turn of Slot Bind. So with the switchability of Sanji and Luffy, we can actually remove the Paralysis, which is really nice. And with our limit breaks on most of our units, we can actually remove the Slot Bind, as well as getting a negative effect with Mihawk Perona. That way we can just move straight onto stage 12. Easily take out that stage and face Beach, Capone, as well as Grotty and Vito. Against Grotty, Vito, and Capone, they have 10 turns of damage reduction and threshold, which is a little bit annoying to get around. But what we're going to do on this particular stage, we're just going to use our Whitebeard special. That way we can give ourselves a nice chunky attack boost, 2.5 times to our Psy, Int, and Striker units, and we can actually get the base stat increase by 1000. Now that base stat increase is ridiculously overpowered. It's actually what makes this unit as good as they actually are. It's a buff not many other units can give, and because they give it, actually gives them a lot more viability on teams, as well as a captain. On stage 13 now, we come up against Rogue, the Mad Monk. He is a dex unit that has 5 turns of defense up. He is immune to defense down as well, however, so unfortunately we can't use the Shanks versatility here. We actually need to remove that defense up, and we're going to be doing that by using our Queen special. Queen can remove defense up damage reduction by 5 turns, as well as give us a 3 times chain lock. With the switchability of our Mihawk and Perona as well, we can give ourselves the negative effect, and then we can finish it off with the attack boost from Big Mom. With Big Mom's special, she can actually give us a 2.25 times attack boost to our Strength, Int, and Psi units, and that way we can actually get the carryover of the Orb buff moving into the next stage. That carryover of the Orb buff is the most important thing. Finally, we're going to finish it off with our Luffy Sanji special, mainly because we are going to stall on this particular stage here. The reason we want to use the Luffy and Sanji special is so that way we can actually get the overheal mechanic, and we can actually stall on this particular stage a little bit longer than what our HP pool allows us to. The reason we use the Big Mom special on the previous turn is we actually want to make sure that we can get the Orb buff moving into this stage against the 2 Kid Pirates. They each have a Strength and an Int Orb barrier respective to their actual color. So what we're going to do here is we're going to utilize the versatility of both Big Mom and Whitebeard. Whitebeard can give that nice chunky HP cut that goes through defensive effects, and then with Big Mom, she can actually go through defensive effects with her attacks. The beautiful thing about utilizing Big Mom's versatility here is we can easily take out the Strength unit, and then we can actually stall on the Int unit over here. We're basically just going to stall out as long as we possibly can, but don't stress because we are going to stall a little bit on the next stage. So let's fast forward to there. Alright, so we basically got to the point where we cannot stall any more turns. Ideally, you can just use the switchability of Luffy Sanji to get some healing back. That way you can build your Big Mom versatility up, and we do actually want to use this time to actually build up our Whitebeard verse meter once again. Once we get to the next stage against Killer, unfortunately we can't remove the damage reduction. We do need that Queen special for the X-Ray, Page 1, and Hawkins stage. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to switch into our Luffy, and then we can attack. Against Killer, he has a counter mechanic. He does, I think it's something like 6 times or 10 times the damage that you do as counter damage every single turn. But other than that, he doesn't actually attack, which is really cool. Because with Luffy Sanji, sorry, Luffy isn't actually boosted under Whitebeard or Shanks, which means that he has no captain ability whatsoever. So he's actually just doing single damage because of the damage reduction, which means that we're not going to take any damage from those counters, as the 10 or the 6 times is just like 60 and 36. So it just means that we're not taking any damage here on the Killer stage. So if you need to, if you kill the Kid Pirates too quickly, you can actually utilize this stage to get a little bit more stalling, get a little bit more healing back, utilizing the switchability of Mihawk Perona as well every single turn. But once we do get down to the point where we've removed the damage reduction after stalling, we're basically going to utilize the special of Luffy Sanji, as well as the versatility of our Shanks. That way we can get a conditional boost, set the defense to 0, get a nice chunky 2.5 times attack boost to our entire crew, and then we can easily take out our Killer on this particular stage. So moving on to the next stage now, we come up against Big Mom. Now, this is where you do need to be, like, very quick on the mark. You do want to make sure that your Shanks doesn't get binded. Very important that Shanks doesn't get binded, as that way we can actually use the Shanks special here. With the support of Yasop, we can remove 2 turns of bind, and as you guys saw there with the support of Halloween Ace, we can also remove 3 turns, and that way we can get rid of all of the bind very, very easily, and that way we can actually give ourselves a full board of orbs, an orb boost, and an attack boost with the Big Mom special. We can switch with our Mihawk Perona as well, very important that we do that. Mihawk Perona are a really good unit for this particular team, as they're boosted either way under Shanks, and under Whitebeard they are boosted with the Psy variation too, which is really, really cool. You do want to make sure that you switch into Perona on this particular stage though, as we do need the Psy variation of Mihawk Perona in their dual form, as that's the only way that they can be boosted under both Shanks and Whitebeard. On the X-Drake Page 1 and Hawkins stage, they have 1 turn of defense up, and you cannot use attack boosting specials. They also give us 3 turns of remove special effects or remove sound effects, however you want to say it, and in that way we can basically just try and take them down with a nice chunky orb boost from Big Mom, with a conditional boost from Mihawk and Perona, as well as removing the defense up and getting a chain lock with the Queen special. Now, ideally, on the previous turn against Big Mom, you actually want to use the Magello special to lock the orbs. That way you have a full board of orbs on this particular stage. But your boy's a spoon, he totally forgot and still managed to get it done. So, the downside to this particular stage is we don't actually have a way to remove the sound effects, so we basically just have to attack through it. But as you can see, we have so much damage that we can easily take out Hawkins. Ideally here we just want to take out Hawkins, because when Hawkins is dead we can actually start using attack boosts. When we do take out Hawkins on the second turn, Page 1 will blow away one of your random members. Ideally you want that to be Big Mom. As you saw, Big Mom is actually immune to blow away, which is really, really handy. That way we don't have to worry about him blowing away one of our units. We can then use our Whitebeard special. Whitebeard can give us our whole crew a nice chunky 2.5 times attack boost, and then we can take out Page 1. On the third turn, however, X-Drake is going to do a massive death damage hit, basically. So what we can do here is, on the second turn, we can utilize the Whitebeard's verse ability. That's going to give us 90% damage reduction and make that big Allosaurus blast that he does actually do like nothing, which is really, really cool. After that, he just attacks every turn. He has like 20 turns of auto heal, and we can just stall here to get our specials back. So once we pop that verse ability, we are just going to switch with our Luffy Sanji to give us some healing. There's no point doing any damage here. We're just basically going to get the healing with Luffy Sanji. We can also get healing with Mihawk Perona's switch ability every single turn. And after that, we can just basically move on once we have our specials back and once the auto heal is gone. Alright, so once we have stalled out the end of turn healing that X-Drake provides on himself, we can just do enough damage here to take him out. Make sure you do have all your specials maxed there. That is very, very important. And make sure that you use this time to actually get the versatility of Whitebeard, Shanks, and Big Mom back, if you can. Utilizing the switch ability of Luffy Sanji helps out quite a lot. On the next stage, we come up against King. King has 3 turns of threshold damage reduction and ship bind, or sorry, 4 turns of ship bind. He also gives our captains 3 turns of despair. So we do want to switch with our Luffy and Sanji here. That way we can remove the despair a lot quicker, but we are going to have to stall out the 3 turns of damage reduction and threshold. On these 3 turns, we can actually take this time to actually farm up some orbs. On the second turn, King actually puts up a quick barrier, then he puts up a dex barrier, and then he puts up an int barrier. The final 2 turns when we can do damage are going to be a strength and a Psy barrier. So ideally here, you do want to try and farm up a strength or a Psy orb. That way we can get a little bit more damage. But on this particular stage, you can actually utilize the verse Big Mom special. That way we can actually go through these defensive effects after we've removed the despair. Very, very important that we remove the despair first. That way we can actually do some damage. With Big Mom's verse ability, we can actually go through barriers, defensive effects like threshold and damage reduction and all those nasty things that are very pain in the ass to get around. Well, Big Mom's verse ability just allows her to tap through that. Unfortunately, with that ability though, it will not break the barrier. So if you are utilizing her to attack last or anything like that, just be mindful it won't break the barrier if she does have an orb that does match that particular requirement. We did get very lucky with orbs on this particular fight. We managed to break the barrier like every single time, but it doesn't matter because we can't do any damage anyway, except for with Big Mom. Big Mom's the only one that can do damage here. If you do manage to get any recovery orbs or Semler slots when you use your Big Mom's verse ability, make sure to gobble them up, as you do want to try and heal as much as you can on this particular stage against King. Otherwise, you will end up having a bad time. So once we hit the Dex barrier, actually, that's when the defensive effects go away. So we do have 3 turns to actually take out King here. So ideally, you want to farm a Dex Orb. Once you get a Dex Orb, if you can hang on to that Dex Orb, it is going to help you guys out. I actually managed to get very lucky. I got one on Whitebeard, and that way I could do damage to King. Just a little bit of extra damage. As you can see, without any specials, we can't really do too much. But ideally, you want to switch into Mihawk when you get to the Strength Barrier stage. That way, you can actually just guarantee yourself a Strength Barrier. And then when you switch back into Perona, you can guarantee yourself a Psi Orb. That's what makes Mihawk Perona so damn good for this particular forest. Not only are they great for the X-Ray Page 1 and Hawken stage, you can also use the Akano support on that particular stage as well, if you're using a different team. But for this particular stage, we can actually just guarantee ourselves a Strength Orb, as well as guaranteeing ourselves a Psi Orb. Once we do get to that Strength Barrier, we are going to use our Verse Big Mom special. That way we can actually give ourselves an attack buff, and then once we hit our perfects, we can actually give ourselves an orb buff for the next turn. The reason when this is so overpowered is we do need to take these 2 turns to take out King anyway, so we may as well take advantage of that extra attack buff, as well as then taking advantage of the extra orb buff that we can get on the second turn. Unfortunately here, we can't get matching orbs with Luffy Sanji, so just be mindful of that if you are switching with them every single turn, because if you keep switching with them, you're just going to get a recovery orb. But if you do have an unfavorable slot, it will help you out there. On the final stage, when King has the Psi Orb barrier, we do want to use our Whitebeard special. That way we can give ourselves a nice chunky attack boost. We can easily take out King and move on to the next stage against Kaido. Now against Kaido, this is where things start to get a little bit tricky. Against Kaido, he does put up immunity to Psi units on the first turn, so we're not going to be doing much damage here. He gives us 2 special debuff, and every single turn he does like a blast burn, which is around 10,000 damage. Ideally, on this particular stage, you want to make sure that you are switching with your Mihawk and Perona every single turn. That way you can get a nice chunky heal. Make sure you are switching with Luffy and Sanji every turn so you can get a nice chunky heal from them as well. And any meat orbs along the way, make sure to eat them up, because it is going to help out significantly. Now, on this particular stage against Kaido, we can actually utilize the verse ability of Whitebeard. That way we can actually get damage reduction whenever it comes up. So whenever you see Psi and In orbs, when we get them, make sure that you are hitting with those orbs as well, so that way we can continuously get our Whitebeard special back quicker. On the second turn, however, we are going to get burned, so just be mindful that Kaido will burn you as well. And if you hit perfects, it's about 25k, so you don't want that to happen. We're basically just going to start whittling Kaido's HP down over time, just hitting with our non-perfects, sorry, make sure you're hitting greats, just hitting with our normal attacks, and then we can take him out. So let's fast forward to there. Alright, so now that we've got down to 2 turns of the burn, as well as basically removing the amount of specials that we can use on Kaido, we are going to take him out. Before we take out Kaido, we are actually going to utilize the versatility of Big Mom. This means that actually when we kill Kaido, we can actually take his life force and actually use it as HP. It's actually just really, really cheeky, and I thought it was really, really nice with the whole Kaido versus Big Mom aspect. On the final stage against Kid, Kid's going to wipe away all of our positive buffs. He's going to give us a full board of block orbs as well, so just be mindful of that. But once we get to this particular stage against Kid, we're basically just going to pop all of our specials, and then we just basically win. So we can switch with our Luffy Sanji, that way we can get another Psi character. Very important that we are in all of our Psi variations, otherwise we aren't going to be doing enough damage to, well, the character's not going to be doing much damage. We have a conditional boost with Mihawk Perona 2 times. We have a chain lock with Queen. We have an attack boost from Whitebeard. We have an orb boost from Shanks. We have a base stat boost. We basically just have everything going for us on this particular last stage besides color affinity. But with the amount of damage that we have, it's really not going to matter at all. So I'm going to leave you the rest of this clip, guys, sitting through all of these beautiful, beautiful specials. But if you guys did enjoy this one, and it did help you guys out, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, and you're enjoying the Japan and global OPTC content that we do upload every single day, make sure to smash that big red subscribe button. But guys, most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights